So, are you a member of this church here?
No.
Are you a church person?
Yes.
And when you go to church, do you ever hear your preacher telling people that they need to start focusing on reading the ingredients labels on the products that they buy, the foods that they eat, that they need to start eating more fruits and vegetables and less processed foods and chemicals? Do you ever see a preacher for any religion on TV or the church that you go to? Do you ever see any of them talking about any of that? Or have you ever read anything like that in a religious book?
Yes, I have. In fact, I am a pastor. I'm a preacher myself. And so, yes, I encourage people to do those things. And I tell people that they are responsible for taking care of their own health, for looking after themselves, because we are the temple of the Lord. Our bodies are the temple of the Lord.
So a lot of people know that phrase, like the temple of the Lord, right? Because they've read it in the Bible or they've heard it from somebody. But do they look as though they are temples?
And so it's our responsibility to take care of that. No matter what industry does, and like I said, I think that even like the issue with cigarettes, that's not the only industry who is actually doing things harmful to us, that's causing us to become addicted to certain things.
The individual bears no responsibility for their addiction. It's something outside of the individual that influenced them that created the addiction.
And they're making millions and millions of dollars off of it. They're not wanting to change that. They're wanting to keep people coming and buying their products and stuff like that.
Do parents teach their kids not to consume processed foods? Because I think the parents are addicted to them, and that they just go ahead and make birthday cake and buy ice cream and candy on Halloween, etc., etc. And they were taught that that's okay. But for me, I haven't consumed any processed food for 33 plus years now. And I tell that to people and they look at me in amazement like, oh my God, I could never do that. What do you think?
Well, yes, I think it's possible, and I applaud you for being able to do that. It's not easy in the society which we live, because to do that is a costlier lifestyle, and more time consuming. Costlier, yes, to go.
So, do you know how much money I've saved from not ever having bought quote unquote health insurance, Obamacare, etc.? At least 100,000 plus, probably. I figured it out. I figured it out at $300 a month since I was 18. It's over 100 grand.
Okay, yes, that health care is another aspect of it. But as far as eating the foods themselves and having a healthier lifestyle, and consuming those, that it is a lot more expensive to try to eat healthier.
It's amazing to me the priorities of these so-called poor people that are buying new rims for their cars, their new cars. They're going out to eat at Bojangles and McDonald's, etc., and they're paying 20, 25 bucks, etc., to eat junk food. They're going to the store and buying grocery carts full of Mountain Dew and beer, etc., and those things don't cost much money. How costly is a heart or brain operation?
Yeah, very expensive.
Who gets all the money?
The doctors and the healthcare system.
What kind of cars do they drive?
Yes, very expensive cars.
What kind of houses do they live in?
Very expensive.
The drug companies, what kind of cars and houses do they have?
Same situation, yes.
Do people care? Do people even care that they're buying into this industry that's eventually going to take all of their savings, their everything, forcing them to take out loans on their houses to get these operations and more?
Yes, I think people in general care about those situations. But like I said, it's a matter of a system where it's a lot less convenient to go that extra mile and to look out for yourself rather than going to the store and then just buying what is most convenient and handy to you and then what you can afford. There's a difference between what you can afford and what's healthy for you.
When people hear all the side effects tagged onto all of these drugs that they're taking, and according to the CDC, at least 50% of the population is on one or more. When people hear about all these side effects from the drugs that they're taking, do you think that they even listen?
Yes. Yeah.
If they do, then
they do. Yes.
I mean, why are they on so many drugs then?
Because a lot of times it's an alternative between the side effects and then what's going on with you. I mean, and people, that's up to people too. They have to make that choice. I mean, we see those ads on TV a lot of times, and like you said, a lot of the side effects are worse than what it's trying to cure, but a lot of times people don't seem to think they have a choice to do those.
Do people put two and two together that the foods that they're eating might possibly be causing the illnesses that they're experiencing?
Yes, I think so.
So the people realize these things, but they don't think that there's anything that they can do about it. They're just hopeless puppets. They're just sheep going around in a circle in a never-ending blah-de-da.
Most people do. Most intelligent people are.
Then why are so many people obese and sick?
Well, because like I said, there again, it's because of the pricing, the affordability, the accessibility.
So they haven't had the opportunity to change?
As far economically or socionomically, no.
So when I started, we didn't have the internet. It was early 90s. It was like 91. So there was no internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I went to the health food store and I bought books and I educated myself like an intelligent person with any kind of brains and balls might do. So
well,
nowadays,
you had money to do that. You had money to go and buy. You had money to go to a health food store to buy books and stuff like that.
Books are not expensive. Books, it cost me 10, 20 bucks. People go buy that much in a baggie of dope. So when I first started my health journey in about 1991, I was in my mid-20s. I had no money saved. I was living with roommates. I had about a $300 a month room rental fee. I had a new truck and that was costing me about $250 a month for the payments on that. And I was basically just living month to month like most Americans are. But I could at least afford to go buy a few health books and drive to the health food store and buy basic food.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could go and buy, which would you do, go buy, you know, $10 book, or go to the store and buy bread and milk for your children? Which would you do?
Okay, so this kind of talk is the absolute epitome, the perfect example of the bleeding-hearted liberal mindset, okay?
You would go to the store and buy milk and bread for your children. You wouldn't spend that that $10.
I hate to tell you, but I think that that's just a BS excuse.
I'm sorry, but feeding the children is important to some people.
People can go to libraries and rent books for free.
Yeah, if you have access to the library, yeah.
It's 3 blocks from here.
If you live within walking distance to the library.
There's libraries everywhere.
Yeah, but most
There's never been a library in any of the worst. I mean, I lived in a bad area of Tucson. There was a library there.
So why did you go to the library rather than going to the bookstore and buying it?
Because I had the 10 bucks or 20 bucks to buy one, and I wanted to go there and buy one, but I still could have gone to the library.
But some people can't go to the library.
So if you told a random homeless person on the street that there was a cold pack of beer, a carton of cigarettes, and a bag of weed buried at the local library, and that they could have it, and you'd tell them exactly where it is, how long do you think that it would take them to find that library and find a shovel somewhere and dig it up? I think you're making excuses for people. I think that people are really effing lazy and that they need to get their asses in gear and start changing their lives.
Well, surely there are some people that are in that position, but like I said, I think there's a lot of situations where people just don't have the choice, or are forced in to this, system of being only able to afford certain foods and stuff like that. Then yes, you're stuck in that situation, and yes, you become obese and overweight and those kind of things, or whatever, is to be able to eat right and that kind of stuff, and be able to afford to do it.
Yeah, well, I think that the biggest change that can possibly be made, the most effective change that can be made, is within a person's own mind and soul.
Yes.
I think that they need to be able to get closer to nature, because nature is God, and when they listen to nature, they listen to God, and vice versa. And then they get the clues, like I do. Every single day I get clues from God.
Well, then you should have gotten clued in that nature is not God. God created nature. That nature tells us about God. Nature directs us to God.
However
nature
you
shows
want to
us-
describe it, I get the clues through nature, like animals,
Yeah.
etc., through God. And I
Yeah,
believe that there are
but
many...
that is not God. I mean, yes, he sends you clues through nature. He tells you in his word that you will know him through the things that he's created.
Yeah, see, and
That
I don't
nature
agree with
is a
that either. You
created
say
thing.
that God is a him, and that is absolutely, there's no way that that can be correct. God is
If
at
that's
least
what you
as
wanna say.
feminine as it is masculine.
Yes, he is. Yeah, I agree with that.
And
that,
whenever I hear women refer to God as being a he, it's comical to me, and I know that they're just getting their information from things that they've read in books. Okay, so these people don't know God. They're just reiterating, they're just regurgitating stuff that they've learned from someone else.
That's
And
fine.
so I don't buy into things like the Bible and anything else that people say. I listen to my own spirit, my own mind, and it tells me what God is, and that's it.
Well, that's fine. I mean, you can do that. I mean, he will allow you to do that. You have the right, you have the choice to do that, and that's perfectly fine. He created you as you are, and you have the right to think as you like. But one way you'll know, as we'll all know, what's what. Whether
Thanks.
you're right or whether I'm right.
Thanks for your interview.
And yours, okay? God bless you.
You too.
Okay.